Alright, how's it going today, guys? We are here to discuss how to build NetMC's multi-smelter. So, if you guys want to see the actual building of this, I will put the link in the cards up in the corner, and you guys can check out me and Net building this on the server the first time. This is more of a discussion of how each one of the elements work, how they work together, and a overview of the project itself to try to give you guys a bit of a quicker tutorial on how to build it. So we're going to do this from the top down, starting up here at the very top. This is the insert mechanism here, which is 10 chests connected to 10 hoppers. Those 10 hoppers are all connected to their own brass item pipe, which is ran into this black bronze item pipe that I call backbone. You do not want to connect these pipes together. You want them to connect through the main pipe in the center. The way hoppers work, they input to the pipe, and then that pipe will basically hold its contents until it has somewhere to put it. So you do not want to put the hoppers directly onto the backbone pipe because they will have to input multiple things into the same pipe. So you want them to have their own starting pipe until the destination is clear. Each one of these are set to exact stack size. We have, starting on this side, 3 number 1s, 2 number 2s. We have a number 3, 2 4s, a 5, and a 6. And you set all of that with a monkey wrench and a screwdriver. A monkey wrench will change it to exact stack size. It will start on the divisible stack size, so you only have to hit it once with a monkey wrench. And then a screwdriver will change the number. You can back up by shifting if you go past the number. So that is how you set all of that. And then there is a red alloy wire running the length of the backbone connected to each hopper to turn it off and on. As you can see, it's red right now, so it is keeping all of them from pouring anything. If I put something in here, it's not going to go anywhere. That is ran over to this block, which is only there so you can invert the signal from here with a redstone torch. And you can see it is simple to set this up. You just connect the wire to the block with a redstone torch. Ignore the fact that the thing is reversed on the bottom. Greg doesn't want to fix it because it's a pain in the butt. So that wire runs down here, which we will take a look at in a little bit. You have your crucible, which is set to all the molds. You do need to have a gap here to make sure that this and this sensor are not touching these 2 molds. So there are crossing that run the length, and then there are 10 molds of 2 different types. The type is up to you what you want to choose. I use long rods and ingots. Just make sure whatever it is that you use, it is a 1 unit mold. You want it to be a 1 unit mold to make sure that the crucible can output the entirety of the contents when it's ready to pour. So if you need rods, do long rods and cut them down. Or if you need bolts, make the alloy into rods or ingots and then pour that separately in a different crucible. You could always use crossings and make another bank if you needed to, but that would be a whole lot more work if you're trying to do bolts or something. So you could also go with plates instead of ingots. I just choose ingots because for most of the things I would be doing with this, I will probably need to melt it back down and make multiple other shapes or extrude them anyways, so ingots just look nicer as stacks. You also have two controlling blocks here. One is for a lever. This controls which bank will be active, and we're going to look at something different about that afterwards. And then there is a button, and this button is to preload your system. If you watch that red wire right there, when I push this button, you'll see that it will blink real quick. That tells the hoppers to allow one set out and into the Crucible. With most of my builds, I tell you that when you're ready to run a set, you need to preload the bottom hopper there with whatever the alloy requires. With this system, you do not have to do that. You put everything into the chests or the hoppers. You hit the button, it preloads the system, and you're good to go. And that is about it for the top. All of the hoppers are connected to one another. We'll see that when we get downstairs. Then those are connected to pipes on the end, which is going into a chest. Now, we'll go on downstairs, and we'll start over here on this end. So, first things first, there are multiple different redstone contraptions, I guess you would call them here. This is a AND gate. This is a pulse generator. And these over here are AND gates as well, or OR gates. Actually, I think these are OR gates. So if you want to use like Blue Power or Project Red or any of those kind of things, by all means, you can do it to clean it up a little bit. I use all GregTech and vanilla just so anybody can build this no matter what pack they're playing. So, basically the first thing is the temperature for shutting off the Crucible is right here. It's the center one, runs down, goes straight to the piston, as with all of these. Then you have your weight-o-meter here, and you have the button running down here. If we pop this out, you can see that is just a block with a red wire connected to it. We'll discuss another option there in a bit. But this is running down. You'll notice a difference between this and that is because this one here is a repeater, and this one here is a redstone torch. So the repeater is to make sure that any signal that's in here does not go up and keep this lit, just to make sure you don't have any random signal running backwards. It's to isolate the signal, I guess. And then that is ran into this block, which is then output into this wire. Your weight-o-meter comes down, and it is inverted with a redstone torch, and then it is input into this block, which is output into this wire. That's why there is the repeater here, to make sure that the signal from here does not end up lighting this one, or vice versa. The redstone torch keeps this one from going backwards, and the repeater keeps that one from going backwards. Isolates all the signals where they need to be. So, both of those block signals are input into this wire, which is then inverted again, being put into this block. When you're inverting with a redstone torch, you do need to put it to a block, because you cannot connect a redstone torched red alloy wire to another red alloy wire. So this block outputs its redstone signal into this wire, which comes into this pulse generator. You may need to change the setting on this repeater. If for some reason your world is lagging just a little bit, you might need a little bit longer of a pulse here. Mine, when I was testing, everything works fine with it set as is. So this outputs your redstone signal, which is going up this wire, and that is the wire that runs to the backbone to tell it when to pour. So now, over on this side, you have two more AND gates, or OR gates. I'm not quite sure which. We do have tutorials on building both of them that would explain it better. I'm not the greatest with the names of them. But anyways, both of these are identical. The only difference is with this one, there is a repeater on this, and there is a redstone torch on that. And that is how it determines whether it is one mold or the other. So you have this redstone wire coming down from the lever, and that tells these two blocks either turn this one on, which you can see right now it is getting a signal because the redstone torch is off, or this one to get a signal, which you can tell it is not because the torch on top is on. If there was a redstone signal coming through here, it would be turning that off, but because this has the redstone torch on it, it is deactivating it, so there's no signal in this block turning off that torch. The other one is running from the core sensor right here, running down, and that connects to the opposite block. Both of those need to be connected directly, because you don't need to, you're doing the switching on by the lever. This just needs to tell both of these systems to pour. So off of the two redstone torches, which makes it decide if it's on or if it's off. It goes into these wires, redstone torch to invert, into block, and then into this red alloy wire, which is connected to the crossing. Crossings automatically output their redstone signal to molds that are connected to them. So you do not have to connect each mold individually, just the crossing in between. And you can see that both of these are identical. It's just wire off of the torches into a redstone signal into a block. And that's how the system works. So the only thing you have to do if you're going to run a set of alloys is choose how much you need, input it into the correct hopper, hit the button, preload the system, pick which type of input you want, set your lever accordingly or output you want, set your output, your lever correctly, light it, and you're good to go. So with that, I want to discuss a couple options that you have with this system. One being, if you'd like to save yourself on a little bit of red alloy wire, you can take out this wire and put a block there. It will input the redstone signal through that block. Do not do this one because you do not want this one's redstone signal and this one's redstone signal connecting and interfering with each other. But because you're not doing the center one, you can also do this one, which will clean it up a bit. You can also take out this one and put one there as well because it's far enough away from the other two that it won't cause any issues either. Just to clean it up a little bit. Then, if you want to pretty things up a little bit more, you can also put on plates. These are made in the extruder, or you can put them into a crucible. You just use whatever dust you want from whatever block. These are marble. I also have over here basalt and shale that we've been using to cover up redstone work. And let's get this block put back in here. And we'll head back upstairs now that I fell through that hole. Another thing you can do, which I will be doing after this, is put one underneath each one of these crossings. That will pretty that up a little bit and hide all of the redstone underneath there. You can also do one on the pipes to hide those. You can also, if you choose, let me take this off for a second. Unlike in the old GT5, these covers do not block the pipes. You can see the pipe is going right through it. So you can even do that if you want to hide that a little bit better. Same for this one here. If you want to put one on this side and then the top, you can do so there. And that'll make it a lot cleaner looking. You can also use a chisel and chisel these to the same block so it'll look better. I can't do that one unless I take that top one off or move the chest, but I will do the rest of the prettying up later. And then another thing that I wanted to show you guys, but I didn't want to do as part of the actual build, because it's not actually necessary, is I want to put in indicator lights. So I'm going to put one of these here and one of these here. And then downstairs, we're going to take our red alloy wire here and we have to run this off of the lever one. We can't run it off of anything past that, but we can connect from, now see, that one is way down there, so maybe we need to move that down here. Yeah, I think we're going to move this one. So this one will be easy because this one can just go, and see, this is why I didn't do it before the build, because it's going to be a little on the ugly side. and make it a little more messy down here, but that's why everything is down here, so you don't have to see it. So we can connect that one there, and then this one, this one is the one that goes off the repeater, so it can literally come right off of this right here. And I guess we can just run this right along there, and I think we should be able to connect that, and it should work. So this is coming off of there. This one will need a redstone torch to invert it, just like it inverts on the block. So there we go. So now if we go upstairs and we hit the lever, it'll switch to the other one. And then that will give us a indicator of which bank is turned on, whether we're going to do rods or we're going to do molds. Or ingots, sorry. So, one last thing. I'm going to do a test run, make sure everything is still in working operation, show you guys how it runs. And we're just going to do a quick and simple double batch of bronze. So for starters, we need to take in the number 1, choose whichever you like. We're going to put the tin. For the copper, we'll throw it in number 3, because it is a 3-to-1 ratio. Then we will select what we want it to do, and we'll say ingots. So we'll leave that set the way it is. 1360 is our pour temperature. You will have to change this temperature for whatever the alloy is you're doing. I typically like to leave the output on 2400, but if you want to save yourself on fuel, you can set it just a bit above whatever the alloy pour temperature is, because the Crucible will be emptying all in one shot. It will not need to be much more. So with us doing 1360, we could set this all the way down to 1400 and it shouldn't be a problem. But for right now, we'll just leave it up here on 2400. So Crucible is empty. We will hit that. You'll see that it now has a load in there, and we will light that up. And now if we give it a little bit of time, we are using a in-bar burning box, so it's very efficient but very slow. With this, since it's pouring everything at one time, you could use a faster burning box. I typically don't like to use faster ones due to things like Ultimate, which gets to a pretty high temperature, and I want to make sure that it has plenty of time to shut off before it burns up. And I like to run huge batches. Like, I'm gonna, once we get done here, start this up to do stainless steel, and I will do a full 9 stacks of stainless steel batch. So I will have 1 stack of manganese, 1 stack of nickel, 1 stack of chromium, and then 6 stacks of iron. So I'll have a full 9 stacks of stainless when it's all done and over with. And then because I have that much stainless done, I won't need to do any for quite a while. That's the same way I do my steel, my iron, and everything over there. I try to do pretty good sized batches. That way I have plenty of it, and I don't need to worry about it on demand. Alright, so we had 14 in here, so it has not poured yet. As I said, this is slow. So right now it's still on 10, and I know from doing the test that when it does pour, it'll pour these 4 right here. For some reason it chooses to go all the way down here when it pours, but I have no idea why. It just does. Oh, this time it did those 2 in the middle. Again, I have no idea. But there you go. It poured, and we have 10 in there again. So it is dropped the second batch. Nothing in the hopper. And as soon as that gets done, we'll have another set in here. So, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions, let me know. If you can think of anything else that would make this build any better, by all means, let me know. And I will see you guys next time. And as always, thanks to my patrons and channel members. And I will see you guys again in the next one.